Let's go to the full narrated chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, chapter 30. Ready? Then let's jump in right after the intro. On the cover,
Hello,
we see
everyone.
several
Welcome to
Mamushi
Manga
creatures.
Information.
The title of the chapter is Annoyances. Page 1, Introduction. Side text, the efforts of Team 10 overwhelm Mamushi. But the moment they lower their guard, it starts multiplying even faster. The chapter begins by showing defeated Mamushi, just like at the end of chapter 29. Chocho speaks confidently. More easy than stealing candy from a baby. Shikadai agrees. Right! Great job, Chocho. However, we then see even more Mamushi being created. Page 2. The problem persists. Chocho looks confused about what is happening, while Shikadai warns his teammates. Careful! These guys are still... But then we see Himawari starting to generate a Bijudama. Pages 3 and 4. Perfect teamwork. Chocho asks Himawari to wait, since they are still in the middle of the city. Then, Shikadai creates a circle of shadows, restraining all the Mamushi at once. Shikadai then calls out, Chocho, throw all of them into the air. Chocho launches all of them upward, clearing the way for the devastating power of Himawari's Bijudama. Pages 5 to 8. Devastating Bijudama. The attack is unleashed. Himawari fires the powerful Bijudama upward, straight at the Mamushi. The blast hits directly, pulverizing all of them in a single strike. The explosion is massive and incredibly powerful. Team reactions. Chocho looks up and says with relief, Phew, that was way too close. Himawari tries to apologize for almost blowing up the village. I'm sorry, Shikadai scolds her. However, Shikadai sharply reprimands her. Enough with the we won't always be here to cover for you like we just did. Fire without warning again, and we might not make it in time. But then he notices more Mamushi surrounding them. Shikadai says in frustration, There are still so many of them out there. Damn it. How many more are going to come? Report to Shikamaru. The scene changes. We move to Kashin Koji and Inojin. Inojin reports, It's not working, Lord Eighth. No matter how many we defeat, there's no end to them. If anything, their numbers just keep increasing. Pages 8 to 12, the interrogation and the threat. We return to the conversation between Konohamaru and Lord Kobu. Kobu insists. Lord Kobu says, I told you, I want to interrogate the Hokage. It's his turn. Hurry and bring him here. Konohamaru hesitates, but Sai intervenes. Sai then steps in. Excuse me, Lord Kobu, I've received reports that the enemy has just entered the village. Kobu reacts. What? Sai continues, and it's a Shinju. Sightings of Boruto have also been reported. Security here is extremely tight, but we cannot guarantee your absolute safety. If you remain here, there is a high possibility you could be exposed to danger. Sai suggests we'll need to suspend the investigation. It would be best for you to move to the evacuation area. Kobu refuses. Lord Kobu asks, can you explain in more detail what kind of threat we should expect? What are their objectives? Sai responds, we are investigating as we speak. If the opponent is a Shinju, the threat level is unknown. Kobu answers decisively, I understand perfectly. So that's how it is. I will resume my investigation as planned. It's far too early to evacuate. This concludes our discussion. Bring me the Hokage. 12 to 16, military coordination. The scene changes again. We see more and more Mamushi spreading throughout the city. Inojin reports, there are so many of them. They've already surpassed 100. Delta and Sarada. We see Delta flying above, observing the situation. Sarada appears as well. Delta, can you see anything? Delta responds, I can see them very clearly. There are tons of them. Sarada warns the others. This is Sarada. My current position is north of Sector B. Mamushi has been sighted. Engaging in combat now. Shikamaru changes the strategy. Shikamaru steps in. Wait, Sarada? All other teams as well. Everyone, listen carefully. I wanted to eradicate Mamushi while its numbers were still low, but it seems that won't be easy. At this very moment, it has multiplied extensively, and its range is far too vast. Inojin asks, what should we... Shikamaru remains calm. Do not panic. This is still within my projections. We are changing the plan of action. It's safe to say the battle has progressed to the next phase. Fortunately, there have been no reports of civilian casualties. The only substantial damage so far has been to small-scale property. This matches the information I received earlier. It's safe to say that anything beyond its target is of little concern. As long as we don't attack it first, that is. Hash the unexpected summons. In the middle of the briefing, the sensory unit calls out Shikamaru. Over. This is the sensory unit. Lord 8th, you have been summoned by Lord Kobu. Please report to the interrogation room immediately. Shikamaru thinks to himself, damn it, why now? He tries to delay. Sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. Can we do this later? However, the sensory unit informs him that Kobu wishes to speak with him immediately. Shikamaru says angrily, Lord Kobu. Pages 17 to 20. Kobu's pressure. We see Lord Kobu speaking with authority. This shouldn't even need to be said. I am here as a representative of the Fire Country's daimyo. My orders are the direct will of Lord Daimyo himself. If you understand that, then you would do well not to keep me waiting any longer. Present yourself immediately. Shikamaru tries to explain. Shikamaru responds, with all due respect, Lord Kobu, this is an urgent situation. The village is under enemy attack. Kobu does not back down. Kobu fires back. You still don't understand? I am telling you this takes priority. Are you planning to disobey the daimyo's orders? Or are you trying to tell me that doing so would be... I believe such an action would be far more damaging to the village. Reactions. Inojin asks, confused. Lord 8th? What's going on? Kashin Koji explains. That man, he is second only to the daimyo in the chain of command. He wants to interrogate Shikamaru. Boruto reports in. We see Boruto having just defeated more Mamushi. Lord 8th, I've cleared the southern part of Sector D, planning to regroup with Team 10 in the south. Shikamaru replies, sorry, I can hear you. Once you regroup, stay on standby for a while. Wait for further instructions. Boruto asks, but is everything okay? Pages 21 to 24, Boruto is captured. Something catches Boruto's attention. Ropes suddenly bind him. A Leaf Ninja reports, hey, is this a Shinju? This is the police force reporting from South Sector D. South Sector D, we have detained the traitor Boruto. Weapon confiscated. Click the sound of handcuffs. The sword reacts. However, the moment the ninja grabs Boruto's sword, he feels something strange. What is this? My power is... Boruto escapes. Boruto breaks free. He retrieves his sword and warns the ninja, I'm saying this for your own good. If you see a Shinju run, it would be a waste for you to die. Boruto then escapes by flying away. The ninjas shout, damn it, that bastard. We then see dozens more Mamushi spread all across Konoha. Pages 24 to 28, Kashin Koji's plan. The scene changes. Shikamaru contacts Sarada. Shikamaru asks, Sarada, how are things with Mamushi? Sarada replies, they're circling around searching for Ida, but it seems they're not just wandering randomly. Shikamaru says, understood. Keep observing. If there's any development, report back. Inojin, I'm heading to the interrogation room now. I need to deal with Lord Kobu. In other words, I won't be able to monitor the transmission map for a while. Inojin questions him. Inojin protests, but if that's the case, we won't be able to carry out the plan. Shikamaru acknowledges, I know. You can relay the location data verbally, or you can take command. Inojin objects. That's not possible. Right now, some Mamushi clones are beginning to surround the Hokage's office. Shikamaru reflects. Once Lord Kobu understands the situation, he'll be forced to reconsider. I don't think he'll back down easily, but Koji presents a solution. Kashin Koji speaks to Shikamaru. Hide this toad in your pocket. Shikamaru asks if Koji has a plan. Koji confirms that it's something along those lines. Koji then instructs Inojin, stop your transmission for a moment. Inojin reacts in shock. Ha! But if I do that, the transmission between all of us will disappear. Koji insists, there's no choice. First, we must overcome this obstacle. You'll use a different jutsu. Inojin asks, what do you mean by a different jutsu? Pages 28 to 32, the interrogation begins. The scene changes. Shikamaru enters the interrogation room. Kobu confronts Shikamaru. Lord Kobu says, so you finally arrived. I grew quite tired of waiting, Mr. Shikamaru. Shikamaru replies bluntly, as I mentioned before, we have an emergency on our hands. Get to the point. I want to get back to work. Kobu threatens. Lord Kobu says, that all depends on you. After all, you could very well lose your position depending on the circumstances. Lord Hokage, to be honest with you, I've suspected you from the very beginning. I have reason to believe that you were the one who let Boruto escape. Shikamaru denies it. That's absurd. And what exactly is your basis for making such a claim? Kobu presses further. You're quite transparent. My instincts are rarely wrong. Why don't we do this, Mr. Shikamaru? Confess your crimes honestly, and I might be willing to reduce your sentence. Either way, I will soon gather the evidence. We should bring this to an end as quickly as possible, all according to your wishes. Inojin's Ju. The scene shifts. We see the Toad with Shikamaru at the same time that Inojin uses the mind transfer jutsu. Something happens to Kobu. He collapses unconscious. Sai reacts. Lord Kobu, what's happening? Kobu lifts his head. Sai asks if he's all right, but Kobu almost says Papa. He quickly changes his words. Part of my head hurts. Shikamaru thinks to himself, Inojin. That was the mind transfer jutsu. He took control of Kobu's consciousness. Pages 32 to 36. The Dark Plan. The Toad speaks to Inojin, who is inside Kobu's mind. Leave the room. Kobu, controlled by Inojin, says, I'm a bit tired of questioning you right now. Let's take a break. I'm going outside. I need some fresh air. I don't need guards. It would get too stuffy. A waste of such a necessary break. Remain on standby here. That's an order. I'll be right back. Sai tries to intervene, but Lord Kobu, on the rooftop, Kobu, still controlled by Inojin, panics. Yeesh, that was terrifying. What do you want me to do now exactly? After all that, Koji instructs, go to the rooftop. Inojin, inside Kobu's mind, questions, I don't really know what you're planning, but isn't this dangerous? Mamushi could appear up here. What do we do if something happens to this man? The shocking order. Koji coldly replies, end Kobu's life. Inojin is stunned. Huh? Wait, you're joking, right? Pages 37 to 39, The Moral Dilemma. Shikamaru stands up and says, Sai, I'm sorry, but I have to go. I have work to do. Sai realizes something. Sai questions him. What do you mean by that? Wait, Shikamaru, explain. What are you making Inojin do? Sai reveals, I'm surprised myself, but I confirmed it when I looked into his eyes. That was Inojin's mind transfer jutsu. Tell me, Shikamaru, what's going on? Inojin hesitates. We return to Inojin inside Kobu's mind. Hold on. This is a joke, right? Koji continues mercilessly. Jump off the building if you have to. You can pretend he panicked when Mamushi attacked. As long as you kill him, listen. Think rationally. There's no time to question the morality of this situation. There's no other way. Kobu is completely our enemy. I'm not transmitting anything right now. The only people who will know are you and me. There will be no evidence left behind. Inojin shouts desperately, are you insane? This is crazy! Final pages, the confrontation. We then see a Mamushi approaching. It asks, hey, do you know where I can find a woman named Ada? Koji acts immediately. Koji says, well, that works too. Using the Toad, Koji attacks the Mamushi. At the same time, the Mamushi retaliates by multiplying. You bastard. What do you think you're doing? I'll kill you. Final chapter text. One cannot afford to be picky when pursuing objectives. Will Inojin act based on rationality or morality? End of chapter. Analysis and closing. Guys, things are getting more and more intense. Kashin Koji is showing a much darker side than we ever imagined. He's willing to cross lines that even Shikamaru would hesitate to cross. And now Inojin is trapped in an impossible moral dilemma. Follow Koji's orders and commit murder? Or follow his morals and potentially doom Konoha? Questions for the next chapter. Will Inojin manage to kill Kobu? Or will Mamushi solve the problem for him? Will Sai uncover the full plan? How will Shikamaru get out of this situation? What did you think of this chapter? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Information. The official chapter releases on day 20. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and let's go.